Hey all, Jade Indigo here from TarotYourTruth. I am here with a response to another hashtag. I thought it would be kind of fun to do another hashtag. This one is a bit older. I think it's from about a year and a half ago. And it is hashtag Tarot Obsessed. And this was a video response. The one I saw was a video response by Katie Flowers to Imogen Walters, who I think was the originator of that hashtag. There's a series of 16 questions, and anyway, I thought it might be fun to go through this. So the first question is, what was your first deck? My first deck, so I'm not counting again, as I've discussed before. I had a very short stint into tarot about 15 years ago, so I'm not, like, only a couple of weeks or so, so I'm not counting that. But my first tarot deck, when I came back and started to truly dive into tarot, this was my first deck, and this is the Tarot de la Nuit by Lo Scarabeo. I love this deck. You know, there are a few problematic things with it, I guess, but mostly the fact that everything is just body beautiful, and I don't know if there's a single person of color in here. I don't think there is, actually. So I wish there was a little bit more diversity of all types in here, but anyhow, it's my first deck. I love it. Will not ever get rid of it. I find this one so powerful. Anyways, the images just evoke something in me that I just love. Okay, so that's the first question. The second question is, what is your current favorite deck? So I've probably talked about this before. In fact, I know I have. But my current favorite is this Soprafino, Tarocco Soprafino. I know I've discussed before, this is my, this is one of the pieces of my soul deck. I just adore this. Sorry if that's not 100% in frame. Anyway, I just adore this. I haven't taken it for too many reading spins. I guess I've just been learning the Marseille style and numerology in particular, and just going through and looking at the images. So that is my current favorite. The third question is, what is your most used tarot deck? Well, I think it makes sense that if this one is my favorite, that would also be my most used one. And that's not 100% the case, because I've only received that deck in the past few weeks, and for most of that I was at the cottage, and that deck is not leaving. Oh, I know why. Sorry. Is not leaving my home. So instead, I'm using my most used deck is The Ancient Italian by Lo Scarabeo. What I was trying to say is that this and the Soprafino are both copies of the same original deck, so that's why I feel more comfortable using this one, since it is a mass market. But again, same images, just the coloring's a bit different. In this one, they cleared up the background so you don't have those wine and coffee stains. Love the stars. Anyway, I've shown this before, so I won't go through that again. Okay, the next question is, what is your least used tarot deck? Well, I do have several decks which I've just haven't had for that long, so I'm not sure that I should count those. Probably right now, well, actually, there's no contest. I don't even have it here, but it is the Rider-Waite-Smith. I have one small copy of it, and I just don't get along with it, so I don't have that here. The fifth question: how did you learn to read tarot? I know I've gone through this before on my channel. I have been learning tarot by self-study, reading books, watching videos. All the content creators here on YouTube are amazing, and just self-study and practice. Okay, the sixth question: what do you use tarot for? I use this mainly for meditation and personal development, and just sort of helping me to work through some challenges and decision making, that kind of thing. Question 7: how do you read tarot, intuition or by book? I do both. I started off with the book meaning, and then go through and add on my intuition. Sorry, brain. Question 8: do you use spreads? Yes, I do. For the most part, I tend to use 3-card spreads. But I have been using other spreads as well. I love playing with the spreads that come with the decks, where they do. I always enjoy that. Question 9: do you mix tarot with other divination systems? No, I have a set of runes which came in a bundle with something else, but I don't. I do have oracle cards. Actually, I don't have any with me right here, but that would be the only other thing, I guess. Question 10: what makes a great tarot deck? This is a great question. And this here is the Tarot of the Hidden Realm. And I think it encompasses for me what makes an amazing tarot deck. The artwork has to call for you. I think this question is amazing because every person will give you a different answer. I think just like art is personal, I think what makes a particular deck good versus not as good for a particular person will change from person to person. I think the art has to grab you, has to speak to you. That's one of the biggest things, I think, for me. I think that, carefully thought out decks, sort of that speak to maybe some of the symbolism behind the particular card and suit. I think having elements of that is very good, at least particularly for newer readers like me, to have something that my intuition can grab onto. Decks there are some decks that are really pared down, and I'm not even talking so much the Marseille style with just the pips, but I think Simon from the Hermit's Cave shows a deck. I'm trying to remember what it is, but it is, I think, the most pared down tarot deck, and I think all of the cards are just, might have a circle or a square or a different shape, and those just don't speak to me. So I think what makes a deck important for me is to have those clear images that just speak to me and bear some reference to what the card meaning is supposed to be, even if they're relying on you to mostly use your intuition. What else do we have here? Question 11. How important is it to you that a deck stick to the tarot system? Well, there's not just one tarot system, right? There are multiple. And how important is it to me? I think that it's important that it has a system, so we can better rely on it, and trust that the messages we're getting make sense for us, and not just us personally, but also fit within the framework of the tarot system that it belongs to. And I have no issues with people making up their own systems, like the Dreams of Gaia or the Wildwood or the Druidcraft. They sort of have they have their own sort of systems. I think it's important to have a system, and if it's going to be a tarot system, then it should have 4 suits plus the major arcana. But I'm okay with variation in there, as long as I know what it is. The 12th question is, do you have any backup decks? I do not. However, I have been thinking about it sort of in the back of my mind. Like this deck, for example, probably, I wonder what I would do if anything happened to this deck, and it was out of print. I would be very sad. But yeah, I'm not sure that I will go there. I'll probably get a backup deck as a deck starts to wear out or get injured somehow. Sorry, I'm just going to adjust this. Question 13. Do you have any unusual or unique decks? Not really. Most of the decks that I have are mass market. I do have a couple of indie decks. The one, I guess, that was the most unique was the Manuscript of the Initiations, which I had backed on not Kickstarter, Indiegogo. But as soon as it arrived, I realized that it was not for me, and I sold it. The only one that would perhaps be considered unique in any way is this deck here, which is the Vice Versa deck. I can't remember if I trimmed this or not. I don't think I did. I think it came borderless, but I could be wrong. And it is unique in that while it uses the Rider-Waite system, it sort of takes away the need to try to read reversals if that's something that you enjoy. I don't read reversals. However, each of these cards, so this is the front where you have the little flower thing on the right hand side, that is the front. So that's the 8 of Wands, and then the shadow side is shown on the opposite side of the card. And you see there, you know that it's the back of the card by the little, I want to say pip, by the little symbol there, it being on the left as opposed to the right. So it's fun. Some of them show daytime on one side, evening on the other side, but some of them don't. That one does. So I love it because sometimes you see, so here's the front and then the back. Sometimes you see, you know, what they're looking at, and sometimes you see the back of the actual character. Ten of Cups. What's behind it? Interesting. So I think this is the most unique deck that I have right now. Okay, question 14 is, what is your current deck crush? I guess you could read this a couple of different ways. In terms of decks that I don't have, the deck crush I have, there would be two. One is the Alice deck by Baba Studios. I adore it from what I've seen online. That's a definite crush. And the second one is the deck of the Bastard. I also love that. Those two are my crushes, I think. In terms of decks that I have right now, I think I'm going to go with, here, let me move this out of the way. If I can do this without making a mess. It's hard to say, actually, but I'm still very much enjoying this one, the Katey deck. But I did receive the Fountain Tarot as a birthday gift a week or so ago. And I know I've shown this, but I think this is my current crush right now for decks that I have. I did not think that this, I couldn't have envisioned how much this deck speaks to me. I've not done any readings with it yet, other than the, actually, I don't think I even did a deck interview with this one. No, I didn't. I've just been looking at the cards. Okay, so that's my current deck crush. Question 15, do you read reversals? No, I don't. I think every card within the tarot system encompasses light and dark and all possible types of situations, and I don't think that trying to remember a different set of meanings really matters, or is that important for me, because you always have a question anyway. So what the question is, the question itself may tell you whether you're looking at the shadow side or the light side of a card, I think is what I'm trying to say. And so I just don't think it's necessary, and I think it just confuses things to do something different. I love the star. Okay, and the last question, if you could only use one deck, what would it be? Well, if I could only use one deck, I think it would be this one. Again, the Soprafino, just because right now this is what I'm into, and it is my biggest crush, a piece of my soul deck, and that's what it would have to be. It could change, obviously, from time to time, and I expect that it probably will, but right now this is what it would be. And that's it, my friends. So that was 16 questions, VR to Katey Flowers and Imogen Walters for Tarot Obsessed. This was a lot of fun. I'd love to see more of you do this, bring this tag around again because I think it's really interesting to see different people's decks and why they choose certain things. I've been having a lot of fun responding to these or doing these VRs. So I might do more of those in the future. And I look forward to hearing from you. If you like what you see, then please do hit the like and subscribe button. And until next time, my friends, tarot your truth.